Hello, everybody. Welcome to a live edition of the Fearless Floyd Show. Today is February 29th, leap year day 2024. And we have a couple of POTUSes heading down to the Texas border. One's going to Eagle Pass and one is going to Brownsville, Texas. Joe Blow is going to Brownsville. The Orange Man going to Eagle Pass. So, what I'm going to show you guys while I'm doing that, if you want, you can like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. Windows aren't coming through. Sorry about that. I don't edit my videos, so that's why things the way they are. So let me get over here and share the screen. Well, let me back up here. As you see from behind me. Oh, let me get it. Sorry, can you hear me now? I didn't have my microphone in the right place. Forgive me for that. So let me start over. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. Today is leap year day, February 29th, 2024. And we have a couple of presidents going down to the border. So this was a statement from the White House today, February 29th, 2024, prior to our alleged buffoon headed to the Brownsville border of Texas and Mexico. The White House is open for sanctuary cities to use ICE. Okay. Now, we welcome local law enforcement support and cooperation in apprehending and removing individuals who pose a risk to national security or public safety when a local jurisdiction has information about. Right there, it says White House spokesperson Wednesday. Right? Okay. Let me show you guys what Minister Jesse Wayne Henley and myself filed. And as you see, we filed it January 6, 2024. Wow. What a prescient date, huh? And you see here's daily Jesse's coat of arms, my coat of arms, special divine appearance of deposit, notice of principle, doctrine is in effect. See restatement second, section 3. If you don't know what the notice to principle doctrine is, it is notice to principle is notice to agent, and notice to agent is notice to principle. So when I send a notice to the principal and or an agent, everybody is served. Let me show you who all this went to, okay? Because now we're gonna, this is what we call check a hoe. Because we checking some hoes. We're going to see who's a hoe and who's not a hoe. Governor Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, Ken Paxton, Sid Miller, Don Buckingham, Jane Nelson, Nathan Hecht, Sharon Keller, John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, Ronnie Jackson, Sheila Jackson Lee, Chip Roy, Troy Nels, Tony Gonzalez, Wesley Hunt, Stephen C. McCraw, Dwight D. Mathis, Freeman F. Martin, Ed Gonzalez, Marion Brown, Sally Hernandez, Javier Salazar, Richard D. Wiles. Okay. I also sent this by email. These all went out by mail. And let me inform you, folks, okay? Not one individual or individuals from any one of these peoples, these elected officials, nobody from their office contacted me. Not one. This also went to ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, among others. Nobody from the media has contacted me. All right. So let me show you what this is, because, of course, Wi-Fi is slow because they keep cutting our underground cables in the seabed floor. We'll wait for this to catch up. Ever. They got the internet all screwed up. All right. As you see, I signed it. Jesse signed it. Sworn and subscribed by a notary for the state of Texas. Witness to treasonous acts. We declare under penalty of perjury that all statements herewith are true, correct, and complete of our own personal beliefs and knowledge as endorsed by our signatures here and below, conducted on the 8th day of January 2024 without the United States pursuant to Title 28 U.S.C. Section 1746(1) and Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code, Sections 132.001, etc. All right. These Texans, un-Americans, witnesses, hereto clearly and unequivocally state herein on the record under penalty of perjury that treasonous acts have been perpetrated by all actors as a statement of claim, including but not limited to current United States of America executive branch, members of Congress, the judiciary, for violating their oaths of office by levying war against the state of Texas or adhering to the state of Texas's enemies, giving them aid and comfort, in which the treasonous actors have published most of the incriminating evidence on U.S. government websites, as well as interviews, press conferences. See Supra at 2. Supra means got to go up here. All right. I'm going to go through all this with you guys to show you. Let me go to YouTube. Man, this thing's just running like garbage. Cannot type. I've just not quite been on my game last week. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't know if y'all listen to this idiot. That was a joke. This guy right here, everybody in the executive branch needs to be hung for treason. Every one of them. Every one of them. Okay. For jeopardizing this country. Let me get back over here. Our meeting. Okay, I'm still sharing, so. All right. As you see, I sent this to all these folks. Not one person called me back. So here's the title. Treason against the state. Treason against the state shall consist only in levying war against it or adhering to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort. And no person shall be convicted of treason except on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. See Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 22. 2 Texans' equitable acknowledgement, affirmation, and acceptance of oaths of office of, in, and for the United States of conflicts of interest, criminal acts of treason, treason-related offense, witness statements, and prayers for relief, which may be granted as a stated claim, signed, sealed, and delivered. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off about this, okay? Because our country is in chaos. This is domestic terrorism at its core. And you folks don't care. The government doesn't care. Your elected officials don't care. Why? Why? Because Greg Abbott could have stopped this 2.5 years ago when they were all boasting about, oh, we have $60+ billion in surplus this legislative session to spend somewhere. Where do we spend it? Hire a fucking private army and go secure our border, Greg. And you did not. You didn't listen to me. You drug your feet deliberately and purposely for 2 years. I have sent you this sworn affidavit of treason against the state of Texas, which is in the fucking Constitution, you former Chief Supreme Court Justice, former Texas Attorney General. You should know the law. You should know when you receive this affidavit that you are supposed to get a posse together of your troopers for the DPS and arrest Joe Biden immediately upon his first step for mankind on Texas soil and arrest them, all of them. But you're not going to, are you, Greg? Or Dan Patrick, or Ken Paxton, or Sid Miller, or Don Buckingham, Jane Nelson, Nathan Heck, Sharon Keller, John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, Ronnie Jackson, Sheila Jackson Lee, Chip Roy, Troy Nels, Tony Gonzalez, Wesley Hunt, Stephen McCraw, Dwight Mathis, Freeman Martin, Ed Gonzalez, Marion Brown, Sally Hernandez, Javier Salazar, and Richard D. Wiles. I'm calling every one of you out. Every one of you. You're in violation of your oath of office. You're in violation of your responsibility as a duly elected official for the state of Texas. You're abdicating your responsibilities. You should immediately, every one of these people right here that you see listed, if they're not down there arresting Joe Biden, all of them, y'all all need to resign. Every one of y'all. Every one of these people should be down there. Every one of you should have already contacted me. You should have called me. You should have come to my door. You should have phoned me. You should have emailed me, texted me something. You didn't. Not one of you, which tells me that you are allowing this to happen. You are a co-conspirator. You are in violation of Texas law under law of parties. Would you like me to look that up in the Texas Penal Code for you? I believe it's in section 7 or section 9 of the Penal Code. Okay. Absolutely. Law of parties. You know about it. You've been briefed about it. You've been noticed and you've been demanded to take action, and you are not. That's a dereliction of duty, sir, ma'am. Y'all got to go. Every one of you. Either you stand up and do the right thing for the citizens of Texas and the citizens of the United States of America, or resign, step down, and let somebody in there who can actually handle the job. Because you can't handle it. You've allowed murder, rape, assaults, robberies, theft, everything that happens across this country by an illegal immigrant. It's the blood's on your hands. Absolutely. And don't think for a minute it's not, because I'm going to hold you accountable. This video is going to be on social media forever. It's going to be on all my platforms. And I'm calling you out and I'm showing the world your incompetence or deliberate incompetence to take down the United States of America internally through the government. That's what I see. I don't know what you guys see, but we can go into the rest of this. Comes now, Floyd Pleasant Tarvin IV and Minister Jesse Wayne Henley Jr., hereinafter Texans, men of substance, with peace and dignity, as inhabitants on the land, United States of America and the state of Texas, breathing air and from water, hereinafter law. Get it? Land, air, water, law. So graciously provided to all by the creator of all. And here, being created in God's image, we come as peaceful, non-combatant law-abiding American, native Texan, and hope. This letter finds you well in honor, good faith, with clean hands. Okay? Because right now you're acting dishonorably, unfaithful, bad faith, and with unclean hands. Your hands are dirty. You have blood on your hands. All of you. Every one of you. Every state official. Every county official on the border. Every city official on the border. Texas and Mexico. All of you have a dereliction of duty. If you do not arrest Joe Biden today and his staff and everybody on that freaking plane of Air Force One, you violated your oath of offices and you violated the integrity of the Texans and American people. Absolutely. So, in the state of Texas, all elected and appointed officers, before they enter upon the duties of their office, shall take the following oath of affirmation. I, Greg Abbott, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of governor of the state of Texas and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. He's fucking swore on that. All of them swore on that. Treason against the state is in the fucking Texas Constitution. To the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of Texas. Where the fuck are you at, Greg Abbott? Where the fuck are you at, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick? Y'all talk Big Ten shit on fucking Fox News and all these other media outlets. But when it comes to actually doing something fruitful for the state of Texas and the United States of America, you are fucking failures. If you guys would like to come on my show and talk to me, you're more than welcome. If you'd like to have a personal one-on-one, face-to-face conversation, I'll be more than happy to have that with you at any time. And I will hand deliver my affidavit of treason against the state of Texas in your hand. You will be served. I've already served it to you. Here it is almost 2 months later and nothing. You know, somebody said, oh, you heard crickets, huh? I didn't even hear crickets. If I would have heard crickets, at least I'd have heard something. I didn't hear anything. This is your state officials. This is the abdication of their duly elected positions. Positions that you voted these folks into to take care of you. And they're not doing it. And we're going to hear a bunch of more bumping gums on these news channels. They're going to tell us, oh, wah, 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 and nothing's going to get done. And Joe Biden's going to fly back to Washington, D.C. or Delaware or the Virgin Islands, go on another vacation and leave us hanging and have to deal with the illegal immigration problem. He can stop this immediately. All he's got to do is just order the fucking Department of Homeland Security. No more people come through the border, period. End of story. Shoot them. That'll stop them. They won't be coming across the border no more. Shoot them. Think I'm fucking kidding. Yeah. Let me catch an illegal alien trying to do something to me or my property. I'm going to make an example out of it. And it ain't going to be pretty. This is what you've left the American citizens and Texans to fend for ourselves. You think we can just like pick up the phone, call a cop, the cop's going to be there immediately as we're getting assaulted, or my daughter's getting raped, gang raped by Venezuelans? Fuck all you government officials. You guys do not have the citizens' best interest at heart. You must all be catering to the lobbyists or to the Republican National Party or the Democratic National Party. That's what I see. You have party loyalty. You don't have loyalty to your nation, to your country, to your state, to your county, parish, city, township, municipality. You're just there in the front. And I despise career politicians who get this, Greg Abbott, he's getting retirement from Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court, Texas Attorney General's office, and now he's going to get it from the governor's office. So he's getting three, and believe me, they get paid very well after they leave office. Okay. Greg Abbott was a Democrat before he turned Republican when it was convenient to turn Republican in the state of Texas. Back when there was a real Democratic Party that had values, morals, ethics, and standards. Now they've been hijacked by the fringe left. And that's who's running the show. And all you other Democrats out there who, you really don't follow the DNC line. You're just a Democrat because, you believe in certain dogma. But your party's been hijacked. They want to turn your children into transgenders. They want everybody to be transgender. They want everybody androgynous. They don't want anybody to repopulate. They don't want you to be able to breed. They want to sterilize you. They want to sterilize your children, your daughters, your sons. They want to neuter them. They want to spade them. Absolutely. And I've told you guys 1,000 times what has taken 3 to 4 decades, 30 to 40 years for illegal immigration to assimilate here in Houston, Harris County, Texas. You're getting it in 4 short years. We got them broke. You're getting them fully funded with debit cards, cell phones, clean clothes, housing, health care, education. I mean, fuck the American people. Your government has turned on you. I just read a sign. The American dream is over. Absolutely, it's over. It's gone. You have about 50,000, out of the 10 million, you have about 50,000 hardened career criminals who more likely than not have been to prison, if not in the United States, elsewhere in other countries, loose here in the United States. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows how they got here. Nobody knows where they're at. Nobody knows what they're going to do. Nobody knows their MO, modus operandi. Nobody knows anything. And Greg Abbott allowed this to happen. I bring up Greg so many times because guess what? The buck stops at the CEO's office. The CEO for the state of Texas is the governor. Go look up the definition of governor. It's going to tell you the CEO. Absolutely. Because what is he the CEO of? The State of Texas Incorporated. Would you like to see their Dun & Bradstreet background business report? That all the judiciary courts of the state of Texas are for-profit corporations. Well, if all the courts are for-profit corporations, how am I getting justice in there? Because now I'm dealing with a corporation. A corporation's fiction. So am I dealing in fiction or am I dealing in reality? That's what the courts are doing. They've duped you. They've created all these policies, which are really not laws, and incorporated them on you and made us believe that, oh yeah, oh man, we got to follow these laws. No, just follow the 10 Commandments. You should be okay. Follow God's law. Don't follow man's law. Man's fallible. Man's corruptible. Man is corrupted. If you don't believe me, just watch Joe Biden fly back to Washington, D.C. or wherever the hell he's going to fly back to after he leaves Brownsville, Texas today. And nobody arrests him. And I'm holding all these people accountable. Every one of them. Especially this clown right here. This guy, Stephen C. McGraw. He is the CEO of the Texas Department of Public Safety. the chief law enforcement agency in the state of Texas. Right here, that guy. There's his director of law enforcement operations, deputy director of Homeland Security operations. Okay. These are the three folks right here, these three guys who could make shit happen. Who's next? Greg Abbott. You know why? Because he controls the National Guard, the Texas National Guard. Well, if you're going to arrest the president of the United States surrounded by Secret Service, you better have a fucking army with you. So there you go. Greg Abbott and Stephen McCraw. Those are the two people right now who hold the future of the state of Texas and the United States of America in the palm of their hands. I've given you the key to unlock the door to put the Biden administration in jail in Texas and hold them accountable with no bond. Yeah. Y'all want to play tit for tat? Y'all want to put Trump in prison? Well, let's put Joe Biden in prison. Let's put him in jail in Texas, in Brownsville. And I don't want any segregation either. Don't put him in solitary confinement. Don't put him in administrative segregation. Don't put him in pre-hearing detention. No, I don't want any of those classifications. I want him in GP, general population, just like everybody else. He's nobody special. He's a fucking traitor to the United States of America. He's a traitor to every citizen. Everyone. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at all these people. If I ever meet any one of these people, I'm going to call them out to their face. I'm going to tell you, you're disrespectful. You disrespected me. You disrespected every Texan, every citizen in the United States of America. All 330 million of us. Slapped us in the face, poked us in the eye, kicked us in the ass, and told us to get the fuck out. That's what you're doing. Instead of doing that to Joe Biden. Absolutely. Treason against the state. Okay? Now, where's my proof? Here we go. Treason against the state of Texas shall consist only in levying war against it or adhering to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason except on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. See Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 22. Here we go. Levying war against the state of Texas press release. Justice Department files lawsuit against the state of Texas regarding unconstitutional Senate Bill 4 immigration law Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Would y'all like to open this up and look at it? Here's a press release. Justice Department files complaint against the state of Texas for illegally placing floating buoy barrier in Rio Grande, Monday, July 24th, 2023. Does that sound like they're warring against the state? Because it sounds like it to me, because I believe Greg Abbott is coming out and said, we need to protect the Texas border, 2.5 years too late. So if the federal government won't do it, the state of Texas will have to do it. So that means they're warring against you. So if they're filing a lawsuit to have you remove borders to protect your own border, your sovereignty, state sovereignty, then they are warring against the state of Texas. Okay? Adhering to its enemies, giving them aid and comfort, and levying war against it. I can't make it any clearer. Adhering to the state of Texas enemies. Groups of men from Africa and China continually cross into the U.S. illegally. Fox News' Bill Mulligan provides details on House Republicans' trip to the border Wednesday as migrants flood into the country. Representative Andy Biggs, Republican from Arizona, explains the severity of the crisis, January 4th, 2024. Here's the link. Foreign terrorist organizations are foreign organizations that are designated by the Secretary of State in accordance with Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, as amended. FTO designations play a critical role in our fight against terrorism and are effective means of curtailing support for terrorist activities and pressuring groups to get out of the terrorism business. Y'all can read that. Giving them aid and comfort. Homeland Majority's fourth interim report on the financial cost of Secretary Mayorkas' border crisis. You can read this. This is where they are actually, the United States government is funding these illegal immigrants. They have sent, January of last year, 2023, they sent a $29 million grant to Mexico and Central America, specifically for the illegal immigrants, the migrants that are on their way to the United States. Yeah. Food, shelter, transportation, healthcare, education, clothing, all that. Yeah. Fact sheet. Biden-Harris administration announces new border enforcement actions. Well, if you go read this, it's bullshit. Testimony of two witnesses. Here you go. As you see, there is my email address. There's my mailing address. Nobody contacted me. There's Jesse's information. Nobody's contacted him. Title 18 United States Codes. Treason, sedition, and subversive activities are running rampant throughout the halls of Congress, all the way to the White House without judicial intervention to remedy clear and unequivocal treasonous acts, misprision of treason acts, rebellion or insurrectional acts, seditious conspiracy and or advocating overthrow of government, failing to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. See U.S. Constitution, Amendment 6. Treason, further, whoever owing allegiance to the United States levies war against them or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title, but not less than $10,000, shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Title 18 USC Section 2381, misprision of treason, whoever owing allegiance to the United States and having knowledge of the commission of any treason against them conceals and does not, as soon as may be, disclose and make known to the same to the president or some judge of the United States or to the governor or to some judge or justice of a particular state is guilty of misprision of treason shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 7 years or both. Judge, okay, I gave it to the Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. Judge, the Chief Judge of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. To the governor, I gave it to the governor, Greg Abbott, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. What else am I to do as a citizen? What is my remedy? What is my recourse? Give it to me. I demand it. I demand my duly elected officials uphold their constitutional duty and oath of office. Are you a foreign agent? Are all of you foreign agents working for a foreign government? Not the United States of America? Not the state of Texas? Because that's what it appears. It appears that you're giving them and aiding and giving comfort. Misprision of treason. Okay, we already did that. Rebellion or insurrection. Whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office in the United States of America. All these NGOs, non-governmental organizations, i.e. Catholic charities, all these NGOs, these liberal, left-wing, crazy, insane, mentally unstable entities who are supporting, okay, assist, engages in any rebellion or insurrection against these or laws thereof, okay? If you're helping an illegal immigrant who came across the border illegally in the United States, boom, that's insurrection. That's rebellion. Every one of these NGOs need to be held accountable. They need to be dissolved. Their assets need to be given to a real fucking charity. Seditious conspiracy. If two or more persons in any state or territory or any place subject to the jurisdiction of the United States conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy by force the government of the United States, or levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay the execution of any law of the United States, or by force to seize, take, or possess any property of the United States contrary to the authority thereof, they shall each be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. Advocating overthrow of government. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein, or by force or violence, or by the assassination of any officer or any such government, or Whoever, with the intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any government, prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written or printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence, or attempts to do so, or whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage the overthrow or destruction of any such government by force or violence, or becomes or is a member of or affiliates with any such society, group, or assembly of persons, knowing the purposes thereof. Well, we already know that there are Venezuelan gangs operating openly in New York, right? Well, there you go. I can't make this any clearer. This is the law. The United States was founded on law, but nobody wants to enforce the law. Nobody wants to hold anybody accountable. All you people in the government, all my law enforcement friends, frenemies, enemies, whatever, all of you, every single one of you, your dereliction of duty. If you are not arresting people, especially your coworkers, if you're not arresting judges, prosecutors, elected officials for treason against the state of Texas, for not doing their duty to defend and uphold the state of Texas Constitution, much less the United States Constitution, you're a criminal. You're a fucking criminal. I'm calling all of you out, every one of you. I don't care anymore. I told everybody, I'm going to be on the front lines fighting for my country, for my state, for my city, my livelihood, for my citizenship. I am. And I don't care what that looks like. I will go down as a martyr. I don't have a problem with that. I've martyred myself before. That's what I did in prison. That's why they were fucking so scared of me. That's why they still have my property to this day. I'm sure they've destroyed it by now, but yeah, they confiscated all of it and kept it, would not give it back. Even after I got out of prison, called the warden, Kelly Strong, on the John M. Wynn unit in Huntsville, Texas, and asked for it back. Hey, I'm out. I'm in Houston. Can I get my property? Carbon, you're never getting that property back. Why? Because I follow the law. I quote the law. Nobody wants to follow the law. Why don't y'all follow the law? Why don't y'all go read the law instead of listening to your supervisor tell you this is what policy is? Fuck policy. Fuck your policies. Your policies don't enforce shit. They don't protect or serve the community at all. Try reading the law. When you go enforce the law, go read the Constitution. I want to know how many of you in law enforcement actually had to read the Texas Constitution word for fucking word to graduate from the police academy or from the sheriff's academy, from the constable academy, or whatever law enforcement entity you used to get training to become a certified peace officer in the state of Texas. I bet none of you have read the Texas Constitution start to finish. Not one of you. You probably haven't even read the United States Constitution. So how the fuck are you going to defend anything or uphold something that you've never even read? How stupid and idiotic is that? I have to call you a dumb motherfucker because that's what you are. You're a dumb motherfucker if you've not read the Texas Constitution and you want to uphold and defend the Texas Constitution. Are you fucking serious? How stupid are you? But that's what they want in law enforcement. They want dumb people. They don't want people asking questions. That's a constitutional violation. How can I do that policy? No, you never ask that question. You just go enforce it. And then you get in court and get clowned. And you wonder why. Whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, okay? That's MS-13. That's all these gangs coming in. They shall be fined under this title or in prison not more than 20 years or both. shall be ineligible from employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for 5 years next following his conviction or her conviction. Two or more persons conspire to commit any offense named in this section. Each shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years, or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for 5 years next following his conviction. As used in this section, terms organizes and organize with respect to any society, group, or assembly of persons include the recruiting of new members, the forming of new units, and the regrouping or expansion of existing clubs, classes, or other units, such society, group, assembly of persons. We know this has taken place. All these sanctuary cities, guess what? You're helping them organize because you're not turning them over to ICE. You're not deporting them. You're helping them organize. Joe Biden, you're helping them organize. Kamala Harris, you're helping them organize. Secretary Mayorkas, you're helping them organize. Greg Abbott, you're helping them organize. Texas Penal Code, Section 7.01, parties to offense. Hey, I was right. I said Section 7 or 9, right? Of the Texas Penal Code. 7.01. Subsection C1. A person is criminally responsible as a party to an offense if the offense is committed by his own conduct, by the conduct of another for which he is criminally responsible, or both. Each party to an offense may be charged with the commission of an offense. All traditional distinctions between accomplices and principals, notice the principle and doctrine is in effect. See how that works? They actually apply it and don't even tell you, are abolished by this section. Each party to an offense may be charged and convicted without alleging that he acted as a principal or agent, accomplice. Texas Penal Code, Section 7.02, C2, criminal responsibility for conduct of another. A person is criminally responsible for an offense committed by the conduct of another if, acting with the kind of culpability required for the offense, he causes or aids an innocent or non-responsible person to engage in a conduct prohibited by the definition of the offense. Acting with the intent to promote or assist the commission of an offense, he solicits, encourages, directs, aids, or attempts to aid the other person to commit the offense. If you don't turn them over to ICE for illegally entering the United States or deporting them, you are giving them aid. You're promoting them. You're encouraging them. Having a legal duty to prevent commission of an offense and acting with the intent to promote or assist its commission, he fails to make reasonable effort to prevent commission of the offense. This is what's happening in the state of Texas with the Texas state officials. They are not doing their fucking job. They are criminally responsible. I'm laying it out for you, folks. This is the law. This is Texas fucking law, or federal law under Title 18, which is the Federal Criminal Penal Code. B, if an attempt to carry out a conspiracy to commit one felony, another felony is committed by one of the co-conspirators or conspirators, all conspirators are guilty of the felony actually committed. So when this girl got killed in Georgia, guess what? That guy came through one of our border states. So law parties, if you came through Texas, guess what? The blood of that woman, somebody's daughter, a productive member of a civilized society, was bludgeoned to death by a career criminal from Venezuela who illegally entered our country. You are all culpable. Every state official in the state of Texas, if you were elected and you're not doing this, you're not up in an uproar, you're not in the mainstream media or alternative media raising a fuss about why nobody's being arrested, why people are still coming through the border to this day, and why you allow the most treasonous, corrupt politician, I would say, if not in the world, definitely in the history of the United States of America, to step foot on the soil of the state of Texas and not arrest that clown, that's a dereliction of duty. You're treasonous, just like Joe Biden. You're no better than a Venezuelan who bludgeoned that woman's head in Georgia. You're no better than the other ones who raped young girls across this country. The reports are coming in. The blue cities, they won't report this. You're just hearing out of the red states. This is what our country has come to. It is a divided country. This is the divided states of America. We are no longer the United States of America. We are the divided states of America. We have blue states and we have red states. That's what this has come down to. And as far as I'm concerned, hey, y'all want those blue states and blue city? You can have them. Take them. Make them cesspools. I say we just fucking put a border wall around those states and turn them into penal colonies. That's what we've always said about Texas. Just fucking throw a fence around it. Because y'all like to take people that come here on vacation and make them leave on probation. That's a thing. Don't think it's not. So let's continue. Testimony of 2 witnesses needed to prove treason. Treason against the state of Texas and the United States of America shall consist only in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on testimony of 2 witnesses, the same overt act, or on confession in open court. See Texas Constitution, Article 1, Section 22, U.S. Constitution, Article 3, Section 3, Clause 1. In 1964, the Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart famously tried to explain hardcore pornography, or what is obscene, by saying, I know it when I see it. The court concluded that obscenity could be determined by whether the average person applying contemporary community standards would find that the work, taking as a whole, appeals to the prurient interest. Okay? These Texans and Americans, me and Jesse, witnesses here too, clearly and unequivocally state herein on the record under penalty of perjury that treasonous acts have been perpetrated by all actors as a statement of claim, including but not limited to the current United States of America executive branch, members of Congress, the judiciary for violating their oaths of office by levying war against the state of Texas or adhering to the state of Texas enemies, giving them aid and comfort, in which treasonous actors have published most of the incriminating evidence on U.S. government websites, as well as interviews and press conferences. See Supra at Section 2. Section 2, treason. We already went over that. Correct? We already went over the law of parties. And already covered my witness statement, treasonous acts. There's our signature. There it is, notarized, authorizing that we are who we say we are. Additional evidence. I went through all this. No, I did not. Additional evidence of treason against the state of Texas. Texas Governor Greg Abbott speaks out on Hannity after House begins impeachment proceedings against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Texas Governor Greg Abbott on how his state was left to address border security as crossings continue to rise. We need to deliver. Texas Rep says it's time for House GOP to step up on border. Representative Chip Roy of Texas explains why he's not joining the House GOP's visit to the border and discusses the record migrant encounter numbers. Do I need to say more? National Border Patrol Council VP Art Del Cueto joined the Faulkner Focus to discuss the Biden administration's mixed messaging on the border crisis as the number of encounters soars to record highs, January 5th, 2024. Treasonous actors. Capias issued immediately. Capias to be immediately issued by any competent jurisdictional authority in, for, and of the state of Texas pursuant to Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 23.01. In this chapter, a capias is a writ that is issued by a judge of a court having jurisdiction of a case after commitment or bail or before trial, or by a clerk at the direction of a judge, and directed to any peace officer of the state of Texas, commanding the officer to arrest a person accused of an offense and bring the arrested person before that court immediately or on a day or at a term stated in the writ. The capias shall be held sufficient if it is following requisites pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure Article 23.02, that it run in the name of the state of Texas, that it name the person whose arrest is ordered, if unknown, describe him or her him, that it specify the offense to which the defendant is accused, and it appear thereby that she or he is accused of some offense against the penal laws of the state, that it name the court to which and the time which is returnable, and that it be dated and attested officially by the authority issuing the same. Well, if I remember correctly, I sent it to the Chief Justice of the state of Texas and the Chief Judge of the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. I can't get any higher judges and justices in the state of Texas. Notice to principal is notice to agent. All Texas Supreme Court justices, you've been notified. All Texas Court of Criminal Appeals judges, you've been notified. All 14 courts of appeals in Texas, all justices, you've been notified. All justices on the district court level, you've been notified. You see where I'm going with this? Notice to principal is notice to agent. Doctrine in effect. And I cited the law. Apparently, these people don't want to read. They want to ignore the citizens. Maybe I'm not a citizen. Maybe I don't hold any rights in the state of Texas. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they don't recognize me. Or maybe they do, and they don't want to. I can tell you this from experience of litigating against the state of Texas for over 12 years. They lie, they cheat, they deliberately miscite, misquote cases. I've seen a court of appeals adopt a state's answer on an appellate brief, word for word. They didn't even write their own opinion. I've personally had them change a Texas statute due to one of my filings under the Texas Health and Safety Code. Absolutely. Why? Because I would have opened the door for over 70,000 convicted felons to get immediate protective custody from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and the Texas Board of Criminal Justice for emergency chemical dependency treatment. It's the only way you can get chemical dependency treatment in the state of Texas penal system is if you are granted parole. Well, if you're doing 30 aggravated, you have to do half that time flat, come up for parole, which means you did 15 years flat without any chemical dependency treatment. You can beg for it, you can ask for it, you can go to this, write the psychologist, the infirmary, you can write God and everybody. You can even file a civil RICO against the Texas Board of Criminal Justice like I did. I did withdraw it, okay? Because I didn't want to pursue all those cases. I had like 6 or 7, 8, 1983 and 1962 cases going on. Title 42, 1983, civil rights litigation, and Title 18, 1962 through 69, civil RICO. Yeah. And it was just too much. They were not going to let me win. It didn't matter what I proved. It didn't matter what the law said. If I was right and the law was with me, they would change the law. I swear to God. I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. That's why I quit litigating. Because they weren't going to let me win. Because I was too fucking smart for them. Too fucking intelligent. When you write legal vehicles better than almost 90% of the attorneys out there, they're scared of you. They don't want to deal with you. Denied, dismissed, failure to state a claim for which relief may be granted. That's their go-to. I can't tell you how many of those I got, which is bullshit. Treasonous actors, pursuant to the sovereignty of the great state of Texas, The below photos are of treasonous actors in which every Texas law enforcement agency, department, bureau, officer, deputy, trooper, etc., issue capias for these treasonous actors to be arrested and taken into custody with no bond upon their presence on and in the great state of Texas. Therein, complainants demand that probable cause exists for drafting capias, arrest, bench warrants for these below treasonous parties levying war against the great state of Texas. Wanted for treason against the state of Texas: Joseph Robinette Biden, Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas, Anthony Blinken, Merrick Garland, Karine Jean-Pierre, Charles Ellis Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Dr. Janet Yellen, Arati Prabhakar, Avril Haines, Bill Burns, Deb Haaland, Dennis McDonough, Gina Raimondo, Isabel Guzman, Jared Bernstein, Jeff Zients, Jennifer Granholm, Julie Sue, Catherine Tai, Linda Thomas Greenfield, Lloyd Austin, Marcia Fudge, Miguel Cardona, Pete Buttigieg, Shalonda Young, Tom Vilsack, Xavier Becerra. Who are these people? This is Joe Biden's executive cabinet. Okay, that's who these people are. That you've never heard of these people. You don't know who the fuck these people are. We ever heard of Catherine Tai or Julie Sue or Jeff Zients? We've heard of Jennifer Granholm. She was a former governor. Isabel Guzman, Jared Bernstein. Who the fuck are these people? Where do they come from? They're all treasonous actors. Every one of them. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Wherefore, premises considered and all presumptions rebutted, oath of office acknowledged, confirmed, and accepted of, in and for duly elected officials of the United States of America and states and territories thereto, including but not limited to law enforcement, military, National Guard, state militias, etc., concerning criminal acts of treason and treasonous-related offense. This American judicially notices all the above persons that America is watching, under God, and with liberty and justice for all. Not only are your reputations at stake in this matter, but your very own political lives are now under the microscope of all Texans and Americans, as we will know the truth, self-evident by your actions, whether the great state of Texas is compromised with treasonous actors, corrupting Texas and America from the inside out. In all things, these Americans pray honorable recipients uphold all dignity, courage, integrity, ethics, moral standards of all Texans and Americans, and hold accountable those treasonous actors who have clearly and unequivocally failed to honor their oaths of office, and expel those treasonous actors from the political arena and introduce them to the criminal justice arena so that the American people can instill the full faith and credit in our pursuit of happiness. So be it, so be it, so be it. Amen. Certificate of service on around the 8th day of January 2024, this American emailed to the state of Texas executive, judicial, legislative branches of elected officials, as well as sheriffs, judges, justices, police chiefs, constables, etc., or deposited in the United States Postal Service drop box verified by this certificate of service all the above persons and titles and properly addressed to parties pursuant to all state, federal rules of court and mailbox rule, does so under the penalty of perjury to Title 28 U.S.C. Section 1746(1), Texas Civil Practice Remedy Code, Section 132.001, etc. Should any matter arise, any matters unresolved, please contact me at any time, signed, sealed, and delivered. There you go. Mainstream news outlets, alternative news outlets. So let's see what the White House said again today. We welcome local law enforcement's support and cooperation in apprehending and removing individuals who pose a risk to national security or public safety. Who's the number one threat to America? It's not Donald Trump, because he's not president. It's the president. Okay? He is a threat to national security. So there you go. The White House even told you here in Texas, all what? local law enforcement support and cooperation in apprehending and removing individuals who pose a national security, a risk to national security or public safety. That's Joe Biden. That's Kamala Harris. It's actually Greg Abbott, Stephen McCraw, and everybody else I sent notice to who didn't reply. These are the facts, folks. I cannot express to you anymore facts. I don't express my opinion. I don't make shit up. I don't blow smoke up your ass. I give you the fucking facts. I give you the law as it is written in the books that we are all supposed to adhere to as a civilized society. We are not a civilized society. We are not even a third world country because third world countries have secure borders. We're not even a banana republic because we don't produce bananas. We're not even a republic. This is what you call wide fucking open. Come one, come all, send your worst, send your pitiful, send your diseased, you're uneducated, you're poor. Send them all to the United States, land of opportunity. Just go to New York. You can have all the opportunity you want. You can lie, steal, chill, rape, pillage, plunder, rob, murder. You can do all that. You can beat up cops. You can probably shoot a cop on Main Street, Broadway, and get away with it in New York. This is the insanity of the United States of America. If you don't think these other countries are laughing at us, well, you better go watch their media. Italy just produced a skit, a comedy skit on Joe Biden not being able to function, falling down at the podium, mocking the president of the United States of America. Can you imagine if that happened to Donald Trump or George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, or John F. Kennedy, or Obama, or Clinton? We're the fucking laughing stock of the world. Is that a badge of honor you want to wear? That's not what I want to wear. I don't want to go to some other country and be ridiculed and laughed at and fucking Americans. Stupid. Estupido. Really? No, I want to be able to do whatever I want, and I want to have pride. Pride where I come from, pride where I was born, pride where I was raised. Whereas a child, I could actually walk any street and not be at risk of being abducted, sexually molested, sexually assaulted, physically assaulted. That wasn't an issue. I had a friend over here yesterday. I was helping her with some legal work. And I was telling her, when I went to high school, oh, there were trucks in the parking lot with gun racks in the back window. 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 16 gauge, 410, 22s, 30-30s, 30-06s, all that fully displayed in the back window. Some people had triples, so they had 3 guns back there. But you have to remember, the house that I live in now wasn't here. There was nothing here. I used to hunt in this house that I live, where this property is. I used to hunt here as a child. We used to leave school, come home, get our guns, and just walk out of the neighborhood, and boom, we're in the woods for miles. So having a gun wasn't a thing. Nobody was going to whip out a gun and go shoot up the school. You got in an altercation with another student, you weren't going to go get your gun and execute them as soon as they came out of school. You weren't even going to go meet them at the park and have a gunfight. You weren't even going to go to the park and have a knife fight. You were going to call somebody out. Hey, meet me at the park after school at 3:30. If you're not there, you know what time it is. And and everybody at school knew about it. So everybody showed up at the park because they want to see the fight. They want to see who's a coward, who's going to win. If you don't show up, then, next day at school, you're all a coward. That's how we settle things. Mano a mano, not with weapons. So, guns, it's not a problem. Never has been. It's the mental instability of America. That's the problem. This is a serious issue, folks. This is where you hold your elected officials accountable. And if there's no accountability for your elected officials, then there's no accountability at all for America. We are an uncivilized society. Because civilized societies have laws, and people follow those laws. And when you violate those laws, there are consequences for violating those laws. You get charged. You have an opportunity to have a trial by jury, or you can plea bargain, and you can take probation, or you can go to prison and get out on parole, or just do your time flat, or you cannot violate the law. It's very simple. But if you allow others to violate the law, then you are a criminal, just like they are under law parties in the state of Texas. I read you all the laws. I can't make it any clearer for you guys. Period. End of story. I'm appalled. I'm dissatisfied, unhappy, sad, demoralized that this is what Texas has become. It's a fucking cesspool of inept, corrupted elected officials. Nobody wants to hold anybody accountable who are supposed to hold people accountable. That's why our governments are so fucked up. When we file a complaint, they want to wash it under the rug, or they want to protect each other. They don't even know why they're protecting each other. It's a sad commentary on the state of Texas. This is where we're at, folks. If you've got a problem with illegal immigration, you have a problem with your law enforcement not acting upon a duly authorized, lawful, legal, sworn affidavit of treason against the state of Texas, you have it. It's in the video. Go present it to your local law enforcement. Make them act. Give it to your city council. Give it to your mayor. Give it to your police chief, your sheriff, your constable, whomever. Send it to DPS. You all should be bombing everybody. You should be burning up the phones and emails. But I guess you just don't care because you've seen this illegal immigration here in Harris County, Houston, Texas. We've been able to absorb it over 3 to 4 decades. You guys, all these sanctuary cities, states, and counties, you're getting it in 4 short years, and you're getting a fully funded illegal immigrant society. And you're not getting the ones that want to come here to work or better their lives. You're getting the criminals, the outcasts, the outlaws, the mentally unstable, convicted criminals, convicted felons, rapists, murderers, gang members. You're getting the worst from every third world country across the world. That's what's coming into our borders, and nobody wants to stop it except me and Jesse. If you've got a problem with illegal immigration, copy this video. It's probably not going to be on YouTube for very long. I'm going to take it down. It will be available on Rumble, Odyssey, Facebook, and my other social media platforms, including Telegram. So I encourage you all to go get it there. Due to the political climate of this election year, I cannot post videos like this and keep them up on YouTube because they will take them down. You know, and it distresses me that I'm the only person pushing this agenda that I know of. I'm the only person that I know of in the world who's ever filed a sworn affidavit of treason against the state of Texas pursuant to Article 1, Section 22 of the Texas Constitution. The only one. I've never seen another one. I researched it, and there's nothing. But as usual, I'm usually the first to do a lot of things because I think outside the box. I follow the law. I read the words. I just went and bought. I got a new dictionary yesterday. Okay. I got M through Z. I didn't get volume one. I got volume two, but this is a 1966 version of the second edition of Webster's Dictionary. I got it as a compendium to go with my New American Heritage Dictionary because I like to read. I like to research. I like to know what words mean. I want to know what words mean in every context, whether it's illegal or whatever. That's why I like my New American Heritage Dictionary because it gives me all those different definitions. Black's Law Dictionary, Burton's Thesaurus, Legal Thesaurus. I have all that. I have it for a reason. I study this stuff. You saw the affidavit that was written. It's very well written. It's concise. It's to the point. It has all the proof and links that you need. It addresses all the correct people and personnel that have the authority to stop this. So I encourage each and every one of you, please reach out to me and get a copy of this affidavit. I will send you a copy. I will send you the Word document that you can edit and change, put in your own information for the notary, and please file it. Send it to God and everybody. Make these people wake the fuck up. Make them do what they're supposed to be doing for the American people, for Texans. I just can't make it any clearer to you folks. This is the deliberate takedown of the United States. Let me show you why I tell you it's deliberate. Uh, Turn you on to something. I was going to do a totally separate video on this. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little pre-op of what the hell's going on. This is the Cloward-Piven strategy. The Cloward-Piven strategy is a political strategy outlined in 1966 by American sociologist and political activist Richard Cloward and Frances Fox Piven, that were a married couple, for the creation of a guaranteed annual income by triggering a crisis in the existing welfare system. Does that sound familiar? That sound like what's going on right now? History. Cloward and Piven were both professors at the Columbia University School of Social Work. The strategy was outlined in a May 1966 article in the liberal magazine, The Nation, titled The Weight of the Poor, A Strategy to End Poverty. This is the strategy. Cloward-Piven's article focused on forcing the Democratic Party, which in 1966 controlled the presidency and both houses of the United States Congress, to take federal action to help the poor. They stated that the full enrollment of those eligible for welfare would produce bureaucratic disruption in the welfare agencies and fiscal disruption in local and state governments. That would deepen existing divisions among elements in the big city Democrat coalition. The remaining white middle class, the working class ethnic groups, and the growing minority poor. To avoid a further weakening of that historic coalition, the National Democratic Administration would be constrained to advance a federal solution to poverty that would override local welfare failures, local class and racial conflicts, and local revenue dilemmas. They further wrote, the ultimate objective of this strategy, To wipe out poverty by establishing a guaranteed annual income will be questioned by some, but the ideal of individual social and economic mobility has deep roots. Even activists seem reluctant to call for national programs to eliminate poverty by the outright redistribution of income. Michael Reich and Janice Andrews wrote that the Cloward and Piven proposed to create a crisis in the current welfare system by exploiting the gap between welfare law and practice that would ultimately bring about its collapse and replace it with a system of guaranteed annual income. They hope to accomplish this end by informing the poor of their rights to welfare assistance, encouraging them to apply for benefits, and, in effect, overloading an already overburdened bureaucracy. Does this sound familiar, folks? But they're not using the American poor, they're using illegal immigrants. Even worse, focus on Democrats. The authors pin their hopes on creating disruption within the Democratic Party. This is 1966, folks. Conservative Republicans are always ready to declaim the evils of public welfare, and they would probably be the first to raise a hue and cry. But deeper and politically more telling conflicts would take place within the Democratic coalition. Whites, both working class ethnic groups and many in the middle class, would be aroused against the ghetto poor. White liberal groups, which until recently have been comforted by the notion that the poor are few, would probably support the movement. Group conflict, spelling political crisis for the local party apparatus, would thus become acute as welfare rolls mounted and the strains on local budgets became more severe. Does this not sound like San Francisco, Chicago, Detroit, New York? Should I go on? Reception and criticism. Michael Tomasky, writing about the strategy in the 1990s and again in 2011, called it wrong-headed and self-defeating, writing, "It apparently didn't occur to Cloward and Piven that the system would just regard rabble-rousing Black people as a phenomenon to be ignored or quashed." Well, that's why they created Black Lives Matter. That's why they created Antifa. Are you seeing a bigger picture now? Impact of the strategy. In papers published in 1971 and 1977, Cloward and Piven argued that the mass unrest in the United States, especially between 1964 and 69, did lead to a massive expansion of welfare rolls, though not to the guaranteed income program that they had hoped for. Political scientist Robert Albritton disagreed, writing in 1979 that the data did not support this thesis. He offered an alternative explanation for the rise in welfare caseloads. In his 2006 book, Winning the Race, political commentator John McWhorter attributed the rise in welfare state after the 1960s to the Cloward-Piven strategy, but wrote about it negatively, stating that the strategy created generations of Black people for whom working for a living is an abstraction. According to historian Robert E. Weir in 2007, although the strategy helped to boost recipient numbers between 1966 and 1975, the revolution and its proponents' vision never transpired. Well, as you see from, all these, snatch and grabs where they just raid these stores, especially on the West Coast, created generations of Black people for whom working for a living is an abstraction. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a fact. All right. When you go out and you travel today around your city or your town, okay, I want you to look. I want you to see who has a sign in their hand begging for food. I want you to see the racial ethnicity of those people. Then I want you to look and see who the people are standing on the side of the road or on the median actually trying to sell you something, hustling, grinding. Because if you're in my neighborhood, I'm going to see some Hispanics begging with signs. I'm going to see Blacks everywhere with signs begging. But I'm going to see illegal immigrants out there selling roses or trinkets, hustling. Their men are at work doing construction. Their women are on the side of the roads hustling. That's how they roll. And I don't have a problem with you coming in here and hustling, working, and trying to be a productive member of society, civilized society. But what gets me is I see these illegal immigrants hustling, and I see the blacks, the American blacks, they don't want to do shit. They want to sit on fucking front of the stop and go and beg for money. And that just appalls me because I walked out of prison with fucking nothing in April 15th, 2016. Nothing. A $50 debit card, which already blew like 15 bucks at the damn store when I got out of prison. Came home with $35 to my name and clothes I didn't even own. I had no clothes. I had to go buy clothes. I had no underwear, no boxers, no pants, no shorts, no socks, no shirts. Literally walking down the street. If I saw a shirt laying on the road, I picked it up and looked at it and go, oh, okay, I can use that for a gym shirt. Swear to God. That's how poor I've been. Just 8 short years ago. And I have all this now. I can literally say that right now somebody's watching one of my videos on one of my platforms. That's how many videos I have. That's how many subscribers I have. And that's kind of a unique thing where somebody's always watching you. Kind of neat. We're back to treason against the state. This is what it looks like. You can go look this up. Okay. How is this related? Okay. These are C40.org. Around the world, C40 mayors and cities they lead are taking ambitious, collaborative, and urgent climate action that aligns with science-backed targets. They work together across borders in order to protect people and communities everywhere and build more sustainable, resilient, equitable future. Okay, you go look at their cities. Boom. In a region. What do y'all see? DC, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Toronto, Chicago, Miami, New Orleans, Houston, Austin, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver. All these cities, these are shithole blue cities. Houston, Texas, it's a shithole. The Democrats have run this city in the fucking ground. It's a shithole. It sucks. Too many people, too much traffic, not enough fucking residential zoning. Believe me, you don't want to be here in 5 years. I don't want to be here tomorrow. But this is what you're looking at. Okay. The C40, they're working with colleges. Okay. And of course, this is all bullshit climate change crap. All right. Fact sheet. Administration announces new smart cities initiative to help communities tackle local challenges and improve city services. This is from Barack Obama. Wow, imagine that. Today, the administration is announcing a new smart cities initiative that will invest over 160 million in federal research and leverage more than 25 new technology collaborations to help local communities tackle their key challenges, such as reducing traffic congestion, fighting crime, fostering economic growth, managing the effects of climate change, improving the delivery of city services. Well, we already know that all of that right there. New York is a cesspool. You're not fighting crime. You're not fostering economic growth. You still have traffic congestion. You're not changing the effects of climate change. You're stuck fucking out. Letter from the University Presidents and Mayors to President Obama on the creation of Metro Lab Network, September 2015. We, the undersigned university presidents and mayors and their designees, against notice to principals, notice to agent, commit to collaborating within and across our communities to research, develop, and deploy technology-enabled solutions that can help address our community's most pressing challenges. And I can go on and on and on and on. This, you're more than welcome to read it yourself. Georgia Institute of Technology, Georgia State University, Atlanta, Georgia, Boston, Massachusetts, Harvard, another Harvard. Well, we already know what Harvard's all about, right? You have the dean of Harvard, who's a plagiarist, a satanic worshiper. Yeah, that's what Harvard's all about. Chicago, University of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel. So we already know what that is. If y'all know who Rahm Emanuel is, y'all need to go do your homework and research who he is and who his father was and who his brothers are and what he did to Chicago. Cuyahoga County, Ohio. Case Western Reserve University. Dallas, Texas, Texas Research Alliance. Detroit, Michigan, Wayne State University. Houston, Texas, Rice University. Madison, Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin-Madison. Memphis, Tennessee, University of Memphis. Montgomery County, Maryland. Uh, Universities at Shady Grove, University of Maryland. New York City, New York University. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, University of Pennsylvania, and Drexel University. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Carnegie Mellon University. Portland, Oregon, Portland State University. Providence, Rhode Island, Brown University. College Unbound, Rhode Island School of Design. San Diego, California, University of California at San Diego. San Jose, California, San Jose State University. Seattle, Washington, University of Washington. South Bend, Indiana, University of Notre Dame. Twin Cities, Minnesota, University of Minnesota. Washington, D.C., Georgetown University. Howard University, George Washington University. Okay. But I just showed you and mentioned to you and described to you a bunch of shithole, liberal, left-wing fucking colleges that want to suppress all of us. All right. So I went to movies, 10 future cities in film. Okay. And I want you people to watch this because when I show this to you, this is what it's going to be like. Okay. If you haven't been stabbed, okay, which means you're a registered uh, genetically modified organism without rights, you're now patentable because of the serial number from the stab you got. Okay. This is what it's going to be like. This is the closest movie I could come. I've seen this movie a million times. Logan's Run. It's from 1976. This is what it's going to be because us who are smart, intelligent, and believe and support and defend our state and federal constitutions and love our country, we're going to be outcast to these big blue smart cities. We're not going to be allowed to enter them because we won't have the credentials. We will be outcasts and outlaws. And this is what it's going to look like.
Just imagine a world where you will hold your entire future in the palm of your hand, when a tiny glowing crystal will guide you through an existence in which each day is more wonderful than the last, where it will be possible for you to obtain the fulfillment of every fantasy, the satisfaction of every vanity, the absolute attainment of every wish. Metro Goldwyn Mayer presents the Saul David production of Logan's Run. A fantastic journey through a world beyond imagination. Welcome to the 23rd century. The perfect world of total pleasure. Imagine a world in which you need never be alone. You touch a switch, turn a dial, and the perfect lover steps into your arms. Every pleasure is yours to experience. Runner! There's just one catch. When the tiny crystal in the palm of your hand flashes its final message, your time is up. Michael York is Logan, policeman in a perfect world, trained to track down runners until he is forced to run himself.
He's a runner.
My friend, I understand. We all go crazy once in a while. But she's a runner, and it's over. Fox, an incredible being, more than human, more than machine, diabolical guardian of the gateway to freedom, for Logan and the woman who loves him. Face like that. That must be the look of. MGM takes you into a new age of adventure in the first motion picture of the 23rd century. Logan's Run. It begins where imagination ends.
There you go. You saw what it's about. A policeman seeks to escape the confines of a hedonistic and doomed society in this futuristic thriller where people who reach 30 are exterminated. That's what's happening. That's what's going to look like. Is that the kind of society you want to live in? Thought this was the land of the free, home of the brave. Because it doesn't look like to me there's very many brave people left in the United States of America. We have a lack of courage, integrity, honor. I'm calling all of you out. Everybody. Stand up. Make your voice heard. Tell your government officials exactly what you need, what you want, and what you demand. You can reach me, The Fearless Floyd Show, at yahoo.com. Send me an email in the subject matter. Tell them you want the treason affidavit, or just put treason in there. I will send you a copy of my Word document that you can edit, make it your own, and file it yourself. Absolutely. I think everybody should file one. You should file it with every law enforcement agency in your jurisdiction, as well as all across the state and the federal government. Let your representative know that you give a fuck. I did. Don't make me better than you. Is that really what you want to do? You really want me to call you out on my social media platforms because you're weak? Didn't want to take up for your own state, your own country, your own community? You didn't want to make it better, safer for your neighbors? How many of you love thy neighbor? Is that really a true fact? Or are you just pretending? You one of those pretend Christians who really aren't guided by God and divinity? I told you folks, I wake up and I don't know what I'm going to do. I told you I was going to do a video on the Cloward Piven strategy, but I didn't. Ended up doing this video. And I haven't wanted to do videos for a week now. I've got this Cloward Piven. I've got everything all queued up. Y'all saw that. Waiting to do the video. I even have the backdrop to do it. But this is important. Not only to the United States of America, not only to Texas and the citizens of the state of Texas and all the citizens of the United States of America, but to the world. We are the most powerful country in the world. And right now we're the laughing stock. Because you people, you idiots, you morons, continue to support the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is Joe Biden. It's controlled by the DNC. The DNC is the other half of the RNC. Why do you think Ronna McDaniel just stepped down as the chairperson of the Republican National Committee? She's outnumbered. There's too many MAGA supporters, too many real, true conservatives. And they're done with her. I'm done with the whole system. I don't want to be a laughing stock. I want to hold my head high in pride that I'm from the greatest country in the history of the civilization of the world that we know of. That's what I want. I want USA and, on my sleeves. I want to be proud to be from the United States. I don't want to be laughed at. Go to Mexico, you fucking Americans. Y'all are a joke. Mhm. We're in a world of shit, folks. Our military decimated. This whole thing took out all the bad motherfuckers. The badasses, they're gone. Got a bunch of twinks in there now. Just go watch the Lloyd Austin interview that was on or the hearing today. Listen to that idiot. That guy is in control of all the military forces for the United States of America. And that's a fucking joke. That dude's a clown. But, when you have a clown in the executive office, guess what you're going to get surrounded by? Clowns. Because what they drove up in? A clown car. Again, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com is my email. You can always reach me on any one of my other social media platforms. The Fearless Floyd Show. The Fearless Floyd Show. Not Fearless Floyd Show, not Fearless Floyd. It is the Fearless Floyd Show. Beware of imposters. I had to go back and hack into and take over an account of mine that was stolen from me. And I hacked it and stole it back. Yeah, so that's what I got to spend my entire morning doing, figuring out who the hell that clown was and how the hell he stole on from information, put in my wrong birth date, and then had my friends, he's soliciting my friends. And they were asking, is this really you? Because it wasn't my picture, but it is now, my full headdress. I hacked it back. Like, subscribe, share. Please share this video. Please share it with everybody. Put it on your social media platforms. It's not going to be on Rumble or not going to be on YouTube. I'm going to take it down. You can find it on Rumble. You can find it on Odyssey. Go to my YouTube page, get those links, or just get on any one of those platforms and put in the Fearless Floyd Show, and it'll pop up and you can share it. And with that, may the grace of God bestow integrity, honor, good faith, and clean hands in all our duly elected officials in the United States of America and Texas, and that they do the lawful, legal, right thing and arrest Joe Biden upon his step on Texas soil. So be it, so be it, so be it. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all have a nice day. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Peace in the Middle East. Y'all know what time it is.